All right, it is officially less than 12 hours before I have to start the trek over to Vancouver Island for BC Bike Race. I've never done anything like this before, but I have a lot of experience riding and I'd like to take you along for the entire journey, which definitely includes the planning and packing phase. A 7-day XC race is no joke, and really it starts months or years beforehand when you're training your cardio, your skill set, and making sure your bike's dialed in to make sure everything goes smoothly. But a few days before the race, when you're actually, packing and getting all your mess together, it starts to feel a lot more real. Let's go through all the stuff that I hope to Tetris into my car in the next hour and explain to you exactly why I'm bringing it. If you've never done anything like this, use this as a guide. If you've done stuff like this, feel free to laugh at me and how much I've overpacked here. So let's get into this. First up, we have my bike, which is a 2026 Norco Revolver C1 130. I've been riding it for about a month and a half. It's a fantastic bike, and I genuinely think it is the best bike around here for BC Bike Race. For the race, I haven't done anything too crazy. The only thing that I've done is I've added a second bottle onto the frame because everyone I talk to says you should be drinking and eating the entire ride. But otherwise, I've done nothing. Brakes, tires, suspension, they're all the same as I ride day to day because why make a major change right before the race? That's just too risky. During the race, I'm going to be wearing my full face helmet. This is a Trigger FF. It's comfortable, it's light, it's easy to mount an action camera to, and I'm not gonna change it. I understand how ridiculous it is to race XC in a full face helmet, and I don't care. Safety first, that's what I'm comfortable with, and ultimately, it may look like I'm on a vacation, but I am working. On the handlebars, I will have my 𝙎𝙊𝘾𝙄𝙍𝙍 bolt. So this will be reading out live heart rate and power data, and along with navigation data. This is my heart rate monitor. These are the gloves. I have two sets. One's brand new. They're both hand up. Now this is my space brace, something that we're going to explain later on. But it's an ankle brace that I am required, according to my physio, to wear for the next year of riding. These are my shoes. They're Shimano, I believe GF9 or GR9s. They're very, very stiff flat pedal shoes. Yeah, we're racing XC in flat pedals too. And I really like the BOA, but they're just shoes. During the race, I'm going to be bringing my Evoc vest. I found this thing on Marketplace for 40 bucks and it's amazing. I don't like hip packs because they drift up my back while descending. And I don't like big heavy backpacks because they're just not very comfortable and very hot. So this vest is honestly the perfect solution for a race like this. And in it, we're gonna bring a pump. We're going to bring a multi-tool, Topeak something or other, but it has a chain brake and it has spoke wrenches on it, so I'm more or less covered. We're going to bring a dart tool for tubeless tire repairs that sealant alone won't fix, a spare tube, a strap, a garbage bag for greasy stuff if I have to take out like a broken chain or broken derailleur. I don't want to get my whole pack greasy. And somewhere in there is a Shimano Master Link. I always carry a extra layer with me. Even in the race, I don't need to do this, but this is just so lightweight and so warm that it's silly not to bring it along with me, especially if it's going to rain, which the forecast says that it might. I also like bringing a second pair of gloves. It's super nice to have a warm, dry pair of gloves on a really cold or wet ride. Now for fuel, I have been eating so many gummy bears and sour keys in the past few months that my mother was concerned about my health. And her and my dad bought me a 24 pack of gels. I used to ride with gels a lot. I haven't done so in years, but I think that is a superior mid-race fueling strategy than the gummy bears, sour gummy worms rather, because they're just so easy. I'm gonna bring 3 a day. I don't know if I'll eat 3 a day, but it's worth having 3. If I have a mechanical that needs to be fixed on the trail, it has to be fixed with one of these 3 things. But I want to be prepared in case something else goes wrong and I can fix it back at camp. The first thing you need is spare parts. I'm going to be bringing a spare tire. This is a Forecaster. It's going to go on the bike anyway, so I wouldn't be too offended if my recon failed and I had to put this on. And I'm going to bring a DHF. I don't think this is an XC tire. You can tell by the size of the knobs, but it's better to be over-prepared, and tires are very expensive, so we're going to run what we brought. I also have a Shimano 12-speed cassette, Shimano 12-speed chain, tubeless rim tape, spare set of pedals, Di2 derailleur, Di2 shifter, spare brake pads. These are like 25% worn already from my Archibald, but doesn't really matter if they're spare tube, tire sealant, spare chainring. I've never actually broken a 5-dev titanium chainring. I've never even damaged one, but might as well bring it. Spare set of grips. Thanks, Nick, for quite a looker there. A bleed kit. So this is a Trick Stuff bleed kit. It has everything I would possibly need to bleed and service the brakes that are on my bike, along with 2 syringes and a spare dropper because the one I currently have has quite a bit of play on it. Now I also have a spare rear wheel. Having a spare wheel is going to make sure that if I do crack that wheel, I'm going to still be able to ride and continue the race on my own parts and not have to buy anything. This wheel is going back on the Deviate. There will be a video about it at some point, but spare parts are not any good if you're not able to replace them. So I have quite the toolkit assembled here as well. This is my 𝙎𝙬𝘋𝙄𝑍𝑏𝑙𝑜 booster pump. It seats tubeless tires by pressurizing this chamber. I've never met a tire it hasn't been able to pop onto the bead, so this pump is amazing. And this is my yellow 𝙎𝙬𝑣𝑜x setup. Let's just quickly go over everything here, and you'll understand why I say that I am over-prepared. Dry chain lube, wet chain lube, Leatherman, end caps, quick links, press to valve cores, end caps, cable guides that prevent rattling between brake and shift lines, shift cable, a big strap for stuff, electrical tape, small strap, dart repair refill kit, 2 different torque sizes that aren't on my multi-tools, a chain brake, a smoke wrench, a 9-tooth Shimano driver thing, lock ring tool. This is a rant and cell. Shimano chainring tool, a dub BB tool, the round everything wrench, vice grips, why can I not remember the name of this? Digital shock pump T25, this is bougie. Center lock tool, which is also a Shimano BB tool. Cassette tool, chain whip, torque wrench, breaker bar in the form of an old seat post, a hammer, flush cutters, short Allen keys, which are actually quite useful for getting the brake pads out of this bike, so who would have thought? Torque wrenches and a digital tire gauge. Now let's quickly go over clothing too. First, I have 9 riding tops, I believe. 5 in the XC style, 4 in the baggy style. That's, I think, my whole closet. This thing is awesome, by the way. I have 5 pairs of riding shorts, so we're gonna have to do a little bit of doubling up there. And I have a pair of waterproof trousers and spray-resistant trousers, depending on how wet it gets. I have a puffy jacket for cold days, a rain jacket, a hat that says "Do Good," which is a motto everyone should live by, 6-ish t-shirts, which is definitely too many, but why not? A sweater, a long sleeve shirt, 2 pairs of casual pants. No, 3 pairs of casual pants, none of which have a belt because I'm kind of on vacation, and a bunch of casual shorts, including a bathing suit. If you know me in real life, you will know how funny it is that I'm packing a bathing suit. I think 9 or 10 pairs of riding socks, including 2 warm ones for wet weather. Definitely over-prepared there. Bunch of casual socks, lots of underwear. I don't use a chamois. I've never used a chamois, and that may surprise you with the amount of riding that I've been doing. Moving on. I have flip-flops for the shower. I have a spare set of shoes in case my Shimano shoes fail for whatever reason, and a boot dryer. This is the luxury item that I'm choosing to bring. I don't care if it doesn't fit, we're gonna make it fit somehow. I hate riding with wet feet. I hate having wet feet just standing around. There is at least a day of rain in the forecast. I want dry feet wherever, whenever. And this is about half the stuff. Yeah, I have to say I'm pretty happy with how that all packed down. And I'm feeling more and more optimistic that we'll be able to Tetris everything into the car. I don't camp often. I don't camp for a number of reasons that I'll explain in a minute. I don't know how to make camping food very well. But I think I have the perfect solution for eating food at BCBR on a budget. Let me show you. This is a rice cooker. And in it, I'm able to make delicious Indian curry every night. These are all dehydrated bases from a restaurant called Masala Boys in Langley, BC. And they make genuinely the best Indian food on the planet. My budget is quite limited being a full-time YouTuber, but these freeze-dried meals combined with some protein and a big bag of rice, I think I'll be able to get a lot of calories in during the race and genuinely support my favorite restaurant on the planet. I've never eaten a dehydrated meal before. I've never even tested this in the rice cooker. I have no idea how this is going to work, but I do think that this is potentially brilliant. I went to the grocery store when I was hungry, don't ever do that, and I bought a ton of random things like salty and sweet snacks that I think will be quite good. I have a kilogram of gummy worms right here, which is amazing. I have the remainder of the 24 gels, some gum, beef jerky. For breakfast every morning, we have bread, peanut butter, jam, nothing crazy there, a massive water jug, and a 1 liter with a measuring cup, which I'll use for my dehydrated meals. And then the toiletry stuff, it's all pretty standard. Toothbrush, toothpaste, body wash, deodorant. What's this? Melatonin, yep, melatonin's important. Advil, yep, you never know if you need it. Toilet paper, never know if you need it. This stuff, it was recommended that I get this before camping. Never had it, don't know if I'll need it, but we'll see what happens. Reactant, because allergies are quite bad right now, and that might end up actually saving me, especially if I'm sleeping outside every single night. And then a razor. So, nothing too crazy there. Now, this is the setup that I think is most interesting. So this is a DJI Power 2000. It's a 2 kilowatt hour battery pack, and what I can do is charge all of my electronics every single day with it. We have the laptop setup, which mostly I'm going to use for transferring footage. I don't know if I'm going to edit during the race yet. Not sure if I have the time or capacity to do so. I'm going to be charging both cameras off this. I'm going to be charging my Wahoo Element every single day. Nick loaned me his 3 battery Ace Pro 2 charger, which is great. Charge my phone, personal battery pack, micro USB because I'm sure I forgot something. We have a light, we have a spare Di2 battery with a Di2 charger. We have a spare battery for the heart rate monitor, spare batteries for the power meter. We have a headlamp, which camping will be quite nice, although I'm really going to try to get a lot of sleep. So hopefully I'm not awake late enough to be able to use that. headphones. We have an adapter to get the SD card into the laptop because it's USB-A, of course, you gotta have this massive adapter for that. Thanks, Apple. And a bunch of assorted mounts. So if my mount fails, I have every possible mount in here, including a chest mount, a helmet mount, a bunch of sticky mounts, lots of prongs, everything. Should be good as far as electronics go. Definitely really excited about this DJI Power 2000. Thanks a ton to DJI for sending that over for the race. That is what's gonna make the rice cooker hack actually reality. Hopefully, we'll see. Let's pack all this up, see how much it condenses down, and then we'll move on to that pile right there, which is the camping pile, which is potentially the funniest one. When I say I'm not a camper, I'm not a camper. That may surprise you because, I'm a pretty outdoorsy person. I like riding, I like hiking, I like all these outdoor activities that people who like camping like. I don't like camping because I can't get a good night's sleep. But I am very determined to make sure that I'm going to get a great night's sleep at BCBR because I know how important it is to get a good night's sleep when you're doing such physical activity day after day after day. Now, most people will bring a tent pad. So this is a single person backpacking. That's not a tent pad. Yeah, this shows you how much I do camping. Whatever this is, the inflatable thingy that you lie on. This is my sleeping bag. And this is an inflatable pillow. Now, most people bring these three things, but I want to sleep. I want to sleep so bad that I'm going to bring quite a bit more stuff. I'm going to bring my backpacking setup and I'm going to see if I can graduate to it after a few days. But it's a 4-person tent. Google tells me I can bring a queen-sized air mattress. So we're going to bring a queen-sized air mattress and we're going to pump it up using our lungs because I don't have an adapter for my pump. If that's not obnoxious enough, I have a Jeep sleeping bag from the 80s. I don't know how warm this is rated for. I don't even know why I have it. My parents never owned a Jeep. I'm a weird sleeper. I don't know how to elaborate on this other than saying I'm going to bring 3 pillows, 3 full-size pillows. I'm going to sandwich my head between 2 of them and I'm going to put the other one probably on my shoulder to support it. And that's the camping setup. So rather than having like a traditional, like very minimalist setup, we're bringing a queen air mattress, 2 sleeping bags, and 3 massive pillows. We're going to get a good night's sleep somehow. I'm going to learn how to sleep. Honestly, this is a video series more about how does Dale sleep in the wilderness in a tent than it is how does Dale do at the race. Because I'm more worried about this stuff than I am the actual race. I'm bringing a towel, bringing a few clothes hangers because I know it's going to be a bit wet one day and I'd like to dry out all my gear as best as possible, along with a garbage bag in case I need that. For dishwashing, I'm bringing obviously liquid, sponges, tea towel, and then we have a bunch of random stuff. I have my sling from when I had my shoulder surgery. Please, let's hope we don't use that and I don't have to cut back to this video in black and white. I have my emergency kit. Now I bring this hiking all the time, but it is nice to bring because it has things like tick removers and other things that may be required in an emergency. We're just gonna have it in the car, so who knows how much use that'll be. We're bringing Kleenex because I'm very allergic to the air right now and the trees are crazy. We're bringing a paper towel. We're bringing a camping chair, which is a commonly recommended thing from more than one person. Thank you, John. And we have a foam roller because I am of the age where I don't want to foam roll. I have to foam roll. If you're watching this, Wesley, I'm doing my physio. Let's get this all packed up. Let's go actually Jenga everything into the car. Tetris everything into the car. See you in a minute. And through the power of editing, everything is in the car. But now, time for bed. Good morning. It's go time. Let's get to the ferry. We are boarding the ferry. It's been a while since I've done a ferry. They're pretty fun. They're actually really, other than the delays and mechanicals, they're quite good and quite efficient. Beautiful. I love where I live. I'm so lucky. So if you ever take a ferry out of Horseshoe Bay, if you look up the Howe Sound, you can see the Black Tuscan Whistler. Very cool to see it from the ocean. Lots of snow up there still too. Welcome to Vancouver Island. Let's get off the ferry, drive over to Cumberland, get registered, and check out the base camp. Definitely feels more real now that we can actually see the island. I think it's time to get in the car. All right, here we are, BC Bike Race 2026. I've registered, I've signed in, I've moved all my stuff over to my tent, and I've done enough walking around to understand exactly where everything is. So let's give you a little bit of a tour just by spinning around here. So this is Basecamp. There's a ton of tents. It's called Tent City. It's a very important part of BCBR. Now, not everyone does this, but a significant number of people do, and it really is part of the whole experience. Behind that, you have the shower trailer, the washrooms, and then moving around here, we have medical, wellness, we have the water fill up on the hill, and we have a few food trucks. We have at the back, there's bike security. So one of the tennis courts is being monitored, so I might leave my bike there overnight. Then we have rider registration, the media trailer, I don't know if you can see it, it's way back there. Then we have the start shoot, a beer tent, and a few other things. This is Basecamp. We're currently in Cumberland. It's gonna be 4 days here. And then after 4 days of racing, we're moving over to 𝙎𝙬𝘋𝙀𝙍𝙎 Valley. I don't know where that is, like location-wise. I don't know what kind of amenities it'll have. It's probably a very similar setup to here, but I'm sure I'll give you a tour of that in a matter of days. Let's go check out my home for the next 4 days. Okay, here we are in Tent City. Apologies for the atrocious lighting. It is very sunny and very hot out. This is where we'll be staying. It's basically a grid of tents. You pick your own tent, and the way that you pick your tent is by putting your name tag onto a unclaimed tent. So currently right now, I have no neighbor there, no neighbor there, no neighbor there, no neighbor there, no neighbor there. I'm kind of just on my own. I probably have people backing onto me, but it should be relatively quiet in this area at least. It's also relatively close to the parking lot, so I'll be able to stage at my car quite easily. And I've also set the bike up for tomorrow's race. Let's quickly take a look at what's going on here. So first for the bike, we have the race plate on. I'm number 99. I did not choose that, but it's cool. It's easy to remember. On my Norco Revolver, of course. And I also put a race plate on my vest, so people can see it from behind and people will know who they're passing. So this is why you see people be like, hey Chris on your left, or hey John on your left. But that is the race setup, so that's all done. Oh, and there's a timing chip on the fork leg. That will wirelessly give me my time whenever I pass through the stage mats at the start and end. So that is all ready to go, all good set up. And then the campsite, I'm working my way on inflating this air mattress with my lungs without passing out because it's probably legitimately like 35 degrees in here, but I think it's gonna do. And I might bring the big DJI 2000 battery here so that I can charge overnight in the tent, but I might also just leave it in the car because it is pretty heavy and it's not an insignificant walk from the campground. So we're all set up. We're gonna do the race meeting in about half an hour now. And if things look good, if I'm feeling well, and you know, if I've had enough food, because I don't know what my dinner is yet, we're gonna go and do a test ride to make sure everything's good. So see you in the racer meeting and maybe get a short ride in tonight.
Wow, it looks a pretty good wipe out there. It's getting tight. Oh, wow. Look at that etiquette.
Yeah,
Look at that.
I'm okay with it.
With the big wooden structure, and that was who did the first 5 years? Who was in the first 5 years?